everybody's having a good year so far. So far, my year is starting off good. My boys are back at their homeschool co-op, so they do that on Fridays for 4 hours, I think it is, from 9 until 1. And so I have the house to myself, and I thought, should I stitch? I already went on my walk for the day, so I was going to use this time to stitch. And I thought, you know what, I need to get a video out there. I always forget to do this at the beginning of my video, but I want to welcome my new subscribers because I keep getting some trickling in. So hi guys, my name's Calico, or actually my name's Christine, but you can refer to me as Calico too. I go by either. I don't expect everybody to remember my real name. But yes, I've been making Flosstube videos for, let's see, well, come September, this will be my 4th year. Is that right? Have I been making Flosstube videos for 3.5 years already? Yeah, I think I have. So what have I been doing so far this year? I have been stitching, but I've only been working on one whip, and you shall soon see what that is. But I did get some things finished up at the end of last year. This one, Mr. Santa Claus right here. We'll show him first. I FFO'd him as a mounted flat fold. Thank you, Vonna, for the wonderful tutorial, which I absolutely love. I did a little bit better at this one than I did with my giraffe. He didn't get as warped. Like my giraffe just kind of had a curve to it, and I think I just didn't leave it underneath the books for a long enough time. So anyway, here's the back. Did my little rick-rack there. And I really struggled. I was going to do a canvas finish on this, and whoa, something just fell and it scared me. So I was going to do a canvas finish on this, and then I don't know, I just decided the canvas, there was going to just be too much space on the outside of it, and it just seemed too much, kind of overpowered Santa. So I decided to go with something a little bit smaller. So, and I've just been dying to use this pom-pom trim that everybody's using. So let's get a little bit closer so you can see the details there. I did some black pom-pom trim there. Oh gosh, don't look at my nails. They're horrible. Yes, so this bow, it's very washed out right now, but I did not make this bow. I am the world's worst bow maker. So what I ended up doing when I was at Walmart getting some of this pom-pom trim, I found in the craft section they had these, I think they're like hair barrettes. They had a little clippy on the back of them that you can clip them, you know, into your hair. Not really not a barrette more so, but just I don't know, just kind of not an alligator clip, but I don't know, some kind of a clip, you know, a pretty big clip. And I just sort of tweaked it and worked it off of there. It's very washed out. Okay, let me see if I get a little bit closer. Anyway, you can see, though, it makes a very nice bow, and I didn't have to do any tying of it. And I did use some E6000 glue to glue that on because it was kind of hefty, so I didn't want it to fall off. But yeah, the rest of it, I just used just the regular Aleene's tacky glue to glue, not the stitching on. The stitching, I've mounted it just kind of by lacing it on the back. I actually did do some lacing, but I glued then the cardboard together with the Aleene's tacky glue, just like Vonna shows. And I think it's really cute, so I'm getting ready to put him away. The Snowflakes, was having a little bit of trouble with that because when I did my French knots, I kind of made the original French knots that I did were a little bit too big, and the pattern actually shows to have some big snowflakes and some little snowflakes, but my little snowflakes I had done big, so then I had to do my bigger ones bigger. And then I didn't really like the way it looked, so I went back in and made some smaller ones, and then I just thought there were too many snowflakes. And I was asking my husband, he thought that I had too many. He thought I should just do it if I wasn't happy with it. My kids said, oh no, he looks like he's in a blizzard, keep it there. And so I sat and stewed for a few days thinking if I was going to redo them, and as always happens when you put it off to the side and you're not focused on it anymore, I look at it and I'm like, it doesn't look bad at all. I'm keeping it. It's not worth redoing those because nobody's ever really going to give it much thought. So, and I don't think you would have either if I hadn't told you. So, anyway, he's cute. I love that little bird. This is Dimensions. Santa's Feathered Friend is what it's called. I need to remember to say those things so that I don't have to edit them all in afterwards. So, just trying to be more, fluent with that. what else did I do? At the end of the year, I had a finish. So I had the FFO, and then I had this finish, which on Instagram you saw I did finish vintage birds. It's being completely washed out. It's really, gosh. Let me just go try to close one of my blinds because it's just, I don't like the way that it's getting so washed out because it's actually not as pastel as it's coming across on the screen. So hold on a second, let me do that. Okay, I'm a little bit darker. That might help a little bit here, and I put something behind it. It's looking a little better. I would still say the colors are a little bit more vibrant in real life than they're showing on here. But yeah, the fabric's actually looking pretty true to life. So yeah, this is Vintage Birds all finished up. I loved it. And I actually bought, I think I bought vintage flowers too. Did I show that in my last video? I think I did show that in my last video that I haven't started yet, but I definitely want to do that sometime this year. So this is by Jeanette Douglas Designs, and I stitched it on 36 count Edinburgh, is that how you say that? Edinburgh linen, the Legacy colorway. So, yep. I put 2017 as the finish date, even though I did, oh yeah, I actually didn't finish this. I didn't finish this in 2017. I almost did. I did 99% of it. I think I just had these last few letters to do that I finished like the second day of January. So, you know, for all intents and purposes, I finished it in 2017. So I went ahead and put that date on there. So yeah, not much more to say about that. I just really loved it. And it got a lot of attention on Instagram. So thank you everybody that left a comment and gave it a like. I think it was my most popular design that I've showed so far on there. So it's very exciting. What else did I do? I worked on, at the end of the last year, around Christmas time, I worked on an old whip, another old Christmas whip that I tried to get done, but I didn't. There's still 3 reindeer that didn't make the cut. So I'm thinking about maybe bringing this back out again in July to do a Christmas in July stitch. Because I really didn't want to put this down, but it was pretty much, I stitched this right up until Christmas, or actually, was I stitching? I think I stitched this right up until Christmas maybe, and then I think I focused on trying to finish Vintage Birds on the week before Christmas and New Year's, so I don't think I was working on this anymore. This is from Just Cross Stitch. I'll put here if I'm wrong, but I believe the 2011 issue, not the Christmas ornament issue, obviously, it's not an ornament, but just the regular December issue or something. It's the 2011 Just Cross Stitch, and I don't remember what it's called. It's cute. You can see all the different reindeer. So yep, got 3 left to do. I think they show it finished as a pillow in the magazine, so I'll probably end up doing that too. It's just cute. I just love the little, each of one had a little different scarf, or this one here had a hat, and that was just kind of fun, kind of dressing them up in their different scarves. And they each have a little different expression on their face, and pretty cute. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one. I started it, I think 2 years ago, maybe 2 Christmases ago. I did one of the reindeer, and then I pulled it out again and started another one, I think last July. I don't know. It needs to get done. It's been going on way too long. What else did I work on? So that's all that I worked on toward the end of 2017. The beginning of 2017, or 2018 now. I don't have any big plans. Did I already say that at the beginning of the video? I don't have any big plans for Year of Whips, Stitch from Stash. I don't usually do anything with that stuff. I sort of, kind of in the back of my mind, just, I don't officially sign up for anything. I'm not signed up for any Year of Whips. I always kind of toy around with the idea, but so I'm kind of doing your whips in my head. There are whips that I'd like to, you know, tackle this year. I kind of have a loose goal of maybe each year finishing up my oldest whip. And the oldest whip I have is the Eagles Majestic Eagles Majesty. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a 2011 whip. I really need to get that done. So I kind of have a loose goal each year to finish up my oldest whip. But, you know, the older those things get, kind of the less you feel like working on them. Although I know when I pull it out, I'll see it and I'll want to work on it. So I think that's what I really need to do, is do like you all have been doing with the whip parade, and just go through all my whips. And I think just opening them up and looking at them and, you know, touching them again will make me want to work on them. So I need to do that. When they're tucked away, I just kind of think in my head, oh yeah, I remember that one, I should get back to it. But I really need to go through, open them up, look at them, see what I've done, because that usually makes me want to work on stuff. Another thing that makes me work on things is when I see somebody on Instagram will post a picture of a whip that I haven't worked on in a while, and I see it and it's like, oh yeah, I need to get that out. Somebody just did that with, they posted a picture of Sweetheart's Gate that they just bought. I completely forgot I even had that. Or somebody was doing a garden gate, Sal, and I thought I had Garden Gate that I was working on. But I have one called Sweetheart's Gate, I think. I need to go look. It's one of those, they're very similar, dimensions kit. And I loved it. And I just need to get back to it. And I know I have that bear one with the wagon. I loved that one. I need to get back to that one too. So I know when I see those, I'll want to work on them again. But I'm not going to commit to saying, yeah, I'm absolutely going to do this many whips this year, because the minute I commit to myself to that stuff, then I sort of lose interest in it and think, oh, why did I commit? Same with stitch from stash. I'm always trying to stitch from my stash, but I don't want to limit buying new things when I want to, which brings me to two things I've already bought this year. So if you've watched me before, you'll know that in my last video I talked about the Marjolein Bastin stitch along that I wanted to start on January 1st, and that anybody who wants to join, please feel free to join along. If you're new to my channel, I didn't bring, darn, I knew I was going to forget to bring it. I'm doing I'll have to post a picture of it here. It's the Marjolein Bastin. It's called the Four Seasons, and it was gifted to me by the lovely Emily C. Thank you again, Emily. I'm loving this pattern so far. It's as much fun to stitch as I knew it would be. Well, I'll go ahead and show you what I've done so far on it. So I'll insert a picture of what it's supposed to look like when it's done, and this is what I have stitched on it so far. So I'm starting in the spring corner, just because it's the upper left, and that's where I felt like starting, because it just makes the most sense to me to do it that way. I love this. Look at that border, guys. This is still kind of looking a little bit washed out than it is in real life. It's a little bit more vibrant than this, but you got the daffodils and the crocus, and look at those butterflies, the detail on that. The eggs. I just finished up these eggs last night, I think it was, right after I posted a picture on Instagram. Then I finished up the eggs, and now these are going to be some ladybugs here. And you know, let me just go get the pattern so you can see what it looks like. Okay, I'm back. This is what it looks like when it's done. So I'm working on, obviously, this corner right up here. And yep, so I got that done, got the butterflies done, working on these. Gosh, so washed out. Working on the ladybugs right there. And then I have to make the decision as to, oh gosh, where I'm going to go next. Do I go over here and do the watering can and strawberries? Or I think I'm going to stitch this bird next, because I haven't stitched a bird yet. So I'll probably do the bird, and then maybe come down and do the bunnies, the chair, work my way down. Yes, that's probably what I'll do, because I want to get to these mushrooms. Mushroom, it's just one mushroom, so that I can stitch that and hashtag it with the Mushroom Sal that's going along on Instagram, because I need to stitch a mushroom for the Mushroom Sal. I mean, yes. that's all there is to say about that, other than please join if you love Marjolein Bastin and have one of her patterns, Lenart or Lenarte, I don't know how you say that, by Leisure Arts. She has many patterns. Some of them are out of print, but if you get on eBay, I just have a saved search on eBay, and so whenever one comes up, which pretty much almost every day there's some showing up, and she has some really small ones. I mean, anyone, we've got a few going on Instagram already on the SAL. How many do I have? There's probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 of us, I would say, on Instagram posting, and some of us are stitching this one, but there's others. We have somebody that's doing the spring. It's like a spring sampler, and I can't remember what everybody else is stitching. Another little birdhouse. But anyway, yeah, it's fun to see them all. And like I said, I have that saved search on eBay, so I get an email whenever somebody uploads a Marjolein Bastin pattern, and somebody put these two on, so I went ahead and bought them. This one here is called, I think it's called the Pecking Order. So this is how it looks up top. This is just a close-up of it, but it's all these birds just in a little, eating the seed out of the little wooden tray there, which I love. I just love her artwork. It's so beautiful. Her little terracotta pots and just the wood and nature. She just really captures nature the way I would if I could paint or draw. I would be her. I just love her artwork. And this one I bought. This one's called, what is it called? Oh, America's Feathered Friends. Look at that. Oh, I can't wait to stitch that one. So yeah, I'm definitely on a Marjolein Bastin kick now. So I now own, I stitched one of hers, Spring Joy. And then, so I'm stitching 4 Seasons, and I've got these two. I bought one called Pumpkins, I think it's called. And I know I have another one too. Can't remember, but yeah. You know how you just get on those kicks, and then you just got to have everything right. I was on Blackbird Designs kick for a while, and I did buy a bunch of Blackbird Designs, and I haven't even started one of them yet. What is wrong? What is wrong there? Yeah, I need to do that. I need to start my Blackbird Designs patterns. I've got now I'm forgetting which one's at the, you have too much stuff if you just can't recall it. But anyway, yes, that's one of my loose goals again this year. Start Blackbird Design. Christmas gifts. I got these from my 2 boys since I finished that Santa. This will be the next one I work on. You've all probably seen this before. Santa's Secret, it's called, by Dimensions. The Dimensions Gold collection, so it's just a small 5x7. I think 5x7. Well, I forgot to say too that Marjolein Bastin, I ended up just stitching my 4 Seasons on the fabric that I stitch everything on, 18 count, Fiddler's Ada, which I love. I like the one by Charles Craft, but this one I don't think is by Charles Craft because I found a really large piece of it at Michael's. I actually, it was like big enough probably to stitch 2 of these on. So I struggled. I didn't know what fabric to use on that, and I just had an epiphany that what was the epiphany I had? I had an epiphany with fabric. There's a lot of you that just collect fabric, and you spend a lot of time looking at, what kind of fabric would go well with everything, and I'm very inspired by all that, and I never used to give it much thought, and then when everybody's thinking, oh yeah, I got this fabric, would look nice on this, and they know all about these fabrics, and I find that a lot of times I don't start a project because I'm sort of stifled as to what kind of fabric to stitch it on, because I don't belong to any Fabric of the Month clubs or anything. I'm just not a big connoisseur of fabric, and I feel like I should be because I feel like everybody else is, but it sort of causes me to just get stuck on starting a project because I think that I should buy some kind of fancy fabric to put it on, and I get really stressed when I don't, and so I think that's what happened with my Blackbird Designs. Why I didn't stitch it is because I think, God, I need to either buy some fabric online Or I need to go to my L&S and just pick out some fabrics that would look nice on it, that are kind of different or that are hand dyed, and then I don't ever do that. And so then I end up not starting those projects because I'm just stuck. And I just realized that I love to stitch on Fiddler's Aida, 18 count Fiddler's Aida. I love it. I feel like, kind of like Carolyn Mazzeo used to stitch everything on Mushroom Lugana. You've got Priscilla and Chelsea that love to stitch everything on their tea-dyed Monaco. And once I take that decision-making process out of the equation, then I just freed me up, because it's like, wow, I don't have to think about fabric anymore. I should just stitch everything that I want on 18 count Fiddler's Aida because I love it, and I personally think almost everything looks good on it. It's just got this, natural, it's not white, it's not cream, it's not, it's not too stark. I mean, I think light colors look good on it, dark colors look good on it. And yeah, I thought, I just shouldn't worry about the fact that I want to stitch everything on that same fabric because it just makes it easier for me. And really, in the long run, I'm the only one that I have to please with my stitching. So if I'm happy with it, I should just do it. So I think I'm just not going to worry about fabric anymore. I mean, if one happens to fall in my lap and I think that looks good on it, or I happen to see something and think that looks great. But, I experimented. I have stitched on a variety of different fabrics, and when I go back to the 18 count Fiddler's Aida, I really enjoy it. It's like putting on an old slipper. Now, I have to admit, when I have to do fractional stitches, it doesn't work well with that. So if something is really going to be tedious and have a lot of fractional stitches, I would probably choose to go with more like a 28 count or 36 count type of linen or lagan, or something that I could do over one with the fractional stitches. So I'm giving myself permission to just stitch on Fiddler's Aida, stitch everything on Fiddler's Aida, and not worry about it. Yes. So, that being said, here's the other gift I got from my other son for Christmas. This one is called Garden Shed Snowman, which is so cute. I'm still loving all my Dimensions kits. I wish more Flosstubers would stitch Dimensions kits, because I like to see people stitching Dimensions. I love Dimensions kits. So if you're out there and you stitch a lot of Dimensions kits, make Flosstube videos so I can see them. I did also get this cording drill finally. I haven't even opened it yet because I haven't had a reason to make any cording drill. Where am I at? 25 minutes. Haven't had any reason to make any twisted cord yet, but when I do, I'm excited to finally have a cording drill to be able to do that. And if you don't know what a cording drill is, watch Vonna's tutorial on making twisted cord, and she uses one of these, and you will want one when you see that. You don't have to have one to make twisted cord, but it definitely makes it easier. Another purchase I got was I bought this after watching Hands-On Design, Cathy Haberman. One of her videos, not her recent one, but she showed this design that she had finished. It's a little pocket for scissors and has the little scissor fob, and she had said that she had these little kits of fabric that you could only get on her blog, and she only had a limited supply, and I bought this to finish it up exactly like how she has it done in there. So that's a quick little stitch that I'd love to get to at some point because I think it's adorable, and I just love the little fabrics that she picked. Speaking of fabrics, so I don't have any more quilts to show because I showed you all those, but everybody that's been showing and talking about their English paper piecing, I'm that close to giving it a try because it really looks fun. I don't think that I would ever, I thought I had tried it before when everybody was mentioning paper piecing, the English paper piecing at the beginning, it seems like a lot of Flosstubers all of a sudden started talking about it at the same time. I was like, oh yeah, I tried that once way back in the 90s and I didn't like it, but I realized it wasn't English paper piecing that I tried. I actually had done paper piecing, which is different. It's a different beast, and I didn't enjoy it at all. So when everybody was talking about English paper piecing, I was like, oh yeah, I tried that. I didn't enjoy it. But I have not ever actually, now that I've seen more people do it, I have not actually ever tried English paper piecing before. And I definitely want to give it a try, but I don't have any desire to make a big quilt out of it. I don't think that it would I say that it won't hold my interest long enough to make a big quilt, but I would love to make maybe a pot holder or some small little, you know, just give it a try. I just have to give it a try. It looks fun. And, you know, when there's a bandwagon, I'm usually always ready to jump on it. So I will probably some point this year make a little English paper piecing something or other. So that being said leads me to, oh yeah, I want to show you this, because as I was setting up for this video, I saw this little display that I have, and I had wondered if did I ever show you guys this finish that I did? I know I think I showed you when I was working on it, but I don't know if I ever showed you this mill hill kit when I got it finished, when I was talking about my dog and how these yellow swallowtail butterflies reminded me of her. I just don't remember if I ever showed you. Now, I didn't actually finish it yet, like my video, I have a video of how I finish it with the felt on the back, and I haven't done that with this yet because I actually forgot about it, and I saw it when I was setting up my video today because way back in 2011 when I lost my dog, I made this, I made this little display. The vet gave me her paw print in, you know how they do in the plaster, and they gave me her paw print, and when I got it back, it was kind of plain, and so I doctored it up a little bit, and this is her collar from when she was a puppy, and then I just wrote her name there, and this is really dusty, because this is, like I said, I made this in 2011, but I just did a little flower arranging there and put some butterflies on it, and I have it displayed on one of these little trays that you get at Hobby Lobby, you know, that you put it, watch me drop this, okay. So anyway, I have it displayed on there, and then I just have this little butterfly that I made, and I just stick it and sort of keep it there. And that's why I forgot about it, because I set it there thinking, oh yeah, I need to finish that one of those days, and I plopped it there and forgot about it, and I just saw it today. Sorry. Anyway, when I'm not holding it, it actually just sits on there like that, and got a little memorial display from my pup. So I thought that was cute, and I never showed that, so thought I would do that for you today. We're approaching the end. The other thing that's been occupying me, this next project is one I wasn't going to share because I haven't fully committed to it yet. But when I show you, then that kind of almost makes me fully commit. So that's why I'm not sure if I should show, but oh, I'm going to show it. So you saw this embroidery kit that I bought where, you know, my Zentangling, if you haven't seen my Zentangling where I do the artwork, and then there's the Embroidery, and that I haven't started. That's not what I'm going to show, because I was actually going to make one of those videos today too. I definitely have to do my nails before I do that, because that's like a hands video. And I burned myself, and nobody wants to look at my burned thumb and my horrible nails, so that's why I chose to do this video instead. Anyway, I digress. Embroidery. I've been wanting to embroider for quite some time now. Okay, let me digress. Let me go on this rabbit trail while I'm thinking about it. Flosstube Fit Club. Diana at Itiskismet Stitches. Hi, Diana. Started a Flosstube Fit Club, which I'm sure you have all heard about it by now. I'm a little late to the game talking about it, so you know what it is. She has a Facebook page. Go watch her video. I'll link below. She explains all about it. And I joined the Facebook group, but I'm sorry, Diana, I haven't even logged on. I think I looked into the group one time after I started, but for me, part of the being fit, you know, it's not just physically fit, but she talks about being mentally fit too, and just taking care of you. And one of those things is staying off of Facebook. So it was kind of, you know, it's one of those things where Flosstube Fit Club and the stitching groups are on Facebook, but I'm trying to stay off of Facebook for my mental sanity. I may just delete that whole thing if this gets too long. Embroidery. I've been wanting to try embroidery. I've been wanting to do the Year of Stitches like Crystal over at Fiberartsy. Hi, Crystal. I absolutely loved your project and enjoyed watching you do it. So I decided maybe I'll start the Year of Embroidery Stitches. If you don't know what that is, it's just you just stitch on one embroidery project. You just do some stitches. You know, it can be a French knot or it can be whatever. Supposedly you're supposed to stitch on it every day for the year, and then in the end you kind of have a collage. And for me, it's because I don't really know how to embroidery, so I wanted it to be sort of a sampler, just me trying out new things and new embroidery stitches. But I don't know, I'm hesitant to commit to something that I have to do every day of the year. So I loosely committed to this. So I'm just going to show right now what I've done so far. I have no experience in embroidery, so this right here is just what I've learned from just watching some tutorials online. I bought an online class at Craftsy, thanks to Samantha over at Crafting Between Stitches. That's your channel name. She's the one that said, oh yeah, you know, if you want to try doing some embroidery and you want to learn some basic stitches, that's great. So I'll link that class below because I actually got it on sale and it was only 20 bucks. But yeah, it's my first Craftsy class I have ever done, and I really enjoyed it because it did kind of start. I mean, you can find a lot of stitches. You can find, believe me, I've been like stalking YouTube and I have watched, I think, every embroidery video out there. And I find that I really like watching embroidery videos more so than I like stitching them. But here's just a little start. I expect to get better as I go along, but you know, it's a start. That was a freehand mushroom I did right there. I just, you know, mushroom Sal. Nobody said it had to be cross stitching, did they? So, this is what I've done so far. I have not worked on it every single night, but when I skip a night, I just do to spend a little extra time the next night doing it. But I don't know. This is just a tea towel, and I'm just gonna stitch until I, you know, maybe I'll get the whole thing covered in a year. Like I said, loosely committed. I may or may not stick with this because I think that embroidery might be one of those things where I just kind of feel like doing once in a while and then the mood will leave me. And I don't want this to be, oh, I gotta force myself to do that embroidery stitch each night. So when it gets old, I may not do this anymore. But it's fun. I started it, right? I put the momentum in gear. My back looks horrible because I'm just using knots and I'm not taking any care whatsoever in what my back looks like because it doesn't seem to be as big of a deal in the embroidery world to tie knots on the back of your projects. So I'm not going to worry about it, right? Some of the inspiration also I get is from this book that I bought by Amy Ray. Is that her name? Amy Ray. It's called Doodle Stitching, the Motif Collection, and this has got some of the cutest, like look at this sampler in the back here. I printed that out, and yeah, it's just kind of, she just talks about doodling and then kind of stitching over it, but oh my gosh, she has got, there's projects in here, but then there's all these different motifs, like baby-related motifs and collections. Sorry. Oh, this is like the worst glare ever. But let me show you. There was some like little woodland. So there's one with farm animals with the little cows. Oh my gosh, guys. Block some of that light coming in. Okay, there we go. Jeez. You get the idea. It just comes with it, but there's food, there's fruits and veggies, little garden motifs, all of the different seasons. But look at this. I'm going to stitch this. Look at that little gnome and that mushroom. Isn't that cute? I love it. Yeah, it comes with a CD, so you can just kind of print those out and enlarge them. So it's fun. There's definitely I mean, I could do one of these motifs. There's 400 motifs in this book. If I did one a day, you know, I wouldn't be able to do them all in a year. So, and sometimes I might just do flowers or French knots. I don't know. The purpose is to just get a little bit better at embroidery. That's kind of my new thing that I'm going to try this year. So that about wraps it up today, guys. One last thing, if you've stuck with me to the end, is I would like to pass Vintage Birds on to one of you. So yes, I'm having a little giveaway. I will, if you would like to just leave a comment below, please be a subscriber, be 18 or older, and if you would like to leave a comment below, I'm going to do like Michelle, Bendy, Stitchy does. Is it you, Michelle, that does where you just do the search for the word? I think that's an easy way. Or I might do a comment generator. I haven't decided, but all I ask is that if you want this, have the words vintage. Oh, this is vintage flowers, guys. Oh. I knew I bought vintage flowers. Okay, this is not what I'm giving away. I'm giving away vintage birds, and I don't have it with me. But, so, ignore what I just said. But anyway, if you do want to see, oh gosh, discombobulated, I tell you. I did buy vintage flowers. This is the one I want to stitch this year as the companion piece to Vintage Birds, which is the one I showed you at the beginning of the video. This is the one I'm giving away, guys. This pattern. Vintage Birds. So look at this. If you decide you want this, want to try a chance at winning this, please leave a comment below. And if your comment has the word Vintage Birds in it somewhere, then I will enter you in the drawing. And I'm going to probably pick a winner on Groundhog Day. How does that sound? That's the beginning of February, right? Sometime around February 1st or 2nd. So Groundhog Day, one of you can be the lucky winner of Vintage Birds. And that's it. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day, get some stitching done, and I'll be seeing you when I see you. I don't know when that will be again. I try to do monthly updates, but I just don't know if that'll happen. So anyway, it was good talking to y'all, guys. And anybody I've mentioned below or anything, any links or anything that I talked about, please check the description below and I'll put it down there. So, okay, talk to you later. Bye.